Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here, joined by Coach Holt as I am each and every Wednesday and Friday. Coach, haven't seen you in about a week. I'll say last night, hey, it was baseball. I mean, if you didn't have a vested interest in who was wanting to win the game, it was a very entertaining game. And I just kept thinking, that's something you talk about over and over and over. Doesn't matter if it's the best team in the league, worst team in the league. It's a major league team. They have major league players. You have to respect that. Every team can beat you. So the Dodgers lose last night at Miami. Just kind of, hey, that's baseball, right?
Exactly what it is. We know they got a great manager. Clayton McCullough's over there. He's doing great things with the team. They're tied for the lead and come from behind and win. So they got quality major league players, and the Dodgers, it's just one of those things. Anytime you walk out there, you got a chance of winning, you got a chance of losing. That's pretty much the way it is in all major sports. And you can't go into, this team's got a losing record. We got to win this, and it doesn't work that way. Now, not even really in high school and league. At some point, there are certain cases where, we could throw our manager and win this. And that's very few and far between. But in the big leagues, that is not the case. Every night you walk out there, you got a chance of winning and losing.
Yeah, and it's not like the Dodgers were. I mean, here's the bottom line. Okay, so we're gonna crunch on some decisions. We're gonna crunch on the JP Fireeisen thing. We're gonna crunch it down because that's what we do here, and that's the fun part of it. Bottom line is, you said it the other day. When the ball's going in the hole, it doesn't matter. It covers everything up. And when the ball's not going in the hole, it doesn't matter what you do. Nothing works. So 8 hits, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position last night. Doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, hey, you still might win, like the Dodgers still might won last night because they have better players than the Marlins, no doubt about it, even though the Marlins do have major league players. But still, you might lose if you go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, which that's the bottom line last night to me.
I think, and you mentioned just 8 hits, 1 for 10 in scoring position. I think of those 8 hits, if I saw correctly, the top 5 hitters basically had 7 of those in there.
Like always.
Just like always. We're still looking for that production down the bottom of the order. And, anytime runners are scored, there's big stats. Of course, watching Oklahoma City Thunder, it's near and dear to our heart. Don't want to get into that, blowing that one on that. But, you look at the Nuggets, they had a bunch of turnovers. You're thinking, well, how the heck they win? The hell these turn? Well, they had 21 offensive rebounds. There's always something to average that, to even that out. You think, well, they shouldn't win with that many turnovers. Jokic had 42 points and 20-something rebounds.
But you shouldn't lose with that many offensive rebounds, too. Exactly. So which one do you want to look at?
Yeah. Yes, it's 7. You're thinking, well, they shouldn't have lost. They had 21 offensive rebounds. But anyway, I know that's a thing nobody blocks out. Don't get me started on that crap again. Coach Barakoff could go off on that, too. Nobody blocks out or takes charges anymore.
No, they don't.
That's the old basketball coaches talking. But, there's always something hidden in there, You're absolutely right, Case. 1 for 10 runners in scoring position, really all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. It is. And so, I mean, that's the bottom line to me to the game last night. I thought Tony Gonsolin was good. I mean, hey, if the Dodgers get 5 innings out of him, for Tony Gonsolin, 4 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. I mean, that's a good outing. And the thing about the Marlins, too, I thought it was very smart on their part. And kind of what I would like to see from James Outman, who did not look good last night. So we're going to go ahead and address that. I mean, he looked like he did last year, point blank. He goes to AAA. He does fine. He relaxes, comes up to Oklahoma City and paralyzes himself by analyzing. I mean, it is a classic case of paralysis analysis for James Outman. So there's the negative out of him. And hey, we see the same things you do. So I say that to say the Marlins have these guys. By the way, new moratorium on Dane Evans. We cannot mention that guy's name on Dodgers Daily. He's a Dodgers Daily, he's a Dodgers killer.
Yeah.
So they swung. What I'm getting to is they simplified their plan, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Gonsolin's got this fastball. He's got a splitter. He's got all. So let's just swing at the first damn pitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's see. Hey, we're gonna in the second inning. It was a 5-pitch inning. Okay, that's going to happen. But we're also liable to run into a couple of them, like they did in the 5th and 6th innings when they hit the home run off of Gonsolin. Then Luis Garcia comes in. I'll get to that. I'm frustrated with Luis Garcia.
I got you.
And then they ambush for a double. So they simplified their plan. They swung at the first pitch. It didn't always look great for them, but it worked. It was what they were capable of doing.
Well, Case, we've all used the analysis. I used to always tell my pitchers, Stillwater High School, got this from Kyle Johnson, our great pitching coach here in Stillwater, and a former minor leaguer with the Phillies and all that stuff, college player. Best pitch in baseball, he'd always ask our pitchers, it's strike one.
Yes, it is.
And we used to tell our hitters, Coach Patman, Coach Jeffrey, all the great hitting coaches I worked with, sometimes the only good pitch you're going to see is the first pitch.
Yes.
Don't let a first pitch fastball go, because especially if you're one of your quality hitters, you hit in the middle of the order, that may be the only fastball you see the entire bat, even on the high school level. So, these guys, I know the analytics, they've got analytics with Gonsolin to know that they're going to swing a first pitch. Hey, this guy's always, we even had a high school case. I know you've done it too.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's just trying to get on top. Start out the fastball, and, the ones that really kill you are the ones that pitch you backwards. They're starting out breaking crap off on the first pitch, and those are the quality guys who you never know what the heck they're going to throw you. The ones that have trouble. But if you got a pretty good idea on the first pitch, especially big league hitters, it don't matter how hard it is. I saw Barry Bonds talking the other day. Was he 56 years old? He said, "I don't care how hard you throw, I can hit it." Right now, he said, and he's right. These big league hitters can hit it no matter how hard it is. So, they had a good plan, and again, they got a good manager. He has inside information on that too. He's not stupid. He's been around Gonsolin and that sort of thing. Clayton did a great job of preparing his hitters, and they got a big comfort behind a win out of it.
Yeah. Boy, I loved it when Clayton got on that home plate umpire, of which Clayton was right. Home plate umpire was correct. Hey, it's a borderline pitch. People look at that box and they go, "Oh my God, he missed a pitch." It's like, oh, you have no idea. And I do quite a bit of umpiring.
Yep.
You have no idea how, especially the way they move the ball. It's late movement, the way the catchers are catching it now.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard to call those pitches as an umpire. So there's a lot of leeway for me there. So I thought the umpire handled it absolutely perfectly when he told Clayton. Because one thing you can't have is arguing balls and strikes. I mean, that's kind of that. In fact, it's actually a rule in the rule book in amateur baseball. But I thought Clayton McCullough was absolutely perfect the way that he had his pitchers back. I thought the umpire handled it perfectly. And the thing about Clayton McCullough, and this is Dodgers oriented because he was with the Dodgers forever, talking to several guys. The thing about it with him, he is in it with the players. I mean, he's working as hard as they are on the field before the games, and he is doing all this with them. He's got their back. You can really tell that the Marlins players love their manager, Clayton McCullough, and that he has their back.
He brings that energy, just like he did with the Dodgers. He looks as though he's bringing the same energy with there. All the pregame stuff he did as a Dodgers assistant coach, first base coach. Same thing. You can tell he's doing with the guys. Who wouldn't love playing for a guy? He's all in. He's with us. He's out there every day. He's doing drill work with us, hitting fungo, probably throwing BP, doing everything. With the guys who are on the field, their managers out there with them. You can get that idea. And like you said, great job of getting on the home plate umpire. In case you watch a lot of, I know you're just like me. I watch a lot of I watch the Dodgers, man, but I watch every major league game comes on if I got an opportunity. I'm a baseball junkie like you are, but I watch a lot of college baseball too. And I'm not trying to trash college umpires, but good Lord, that they miss a lot.
They're terrible.
They're terrible. In the new way of catching, again, I won't get into that. I had to learn that last year with Coach Lee's, and his buddy's the guy that started that.
I personally like it. I see the point in it, but there's a lot of people that don't.
I see the point in it, but as a coach back in the old Coach Holt at third base, every time I'd see a catcher do this, I tell the umpire, there's a reason he's doing that. It's a freaking ball, or he wouldn't do it. If it's a strike, there's an art to framing a pitch. We teach our kids. There's an art to framing.
We used to teach them to curl.
It's old school, teaching just to flip your wrist, a frame a pitch. That's an art of catching right now. Now I can pull one 6 or 8 inches and get a strike at him. It used to drive me nuts. I should have been thrown out several times. He's pulling it for a reason. Makes you look bad. Because it's a ball, but you're calling it because he's doing this. Don't get me started on that again. But these guys, I did kind of learn the new way of catching and getting where I liked it, like you, Case. But you can see it more so in the college game. I'm not trashing those guys. Those are good. They're just, they're not major league level. But the major league guys don't miss a whole bunch of them. I'll give them that. They do. They miss a few, and we blow it up when they do. They're pretty daggum good. Especially a lot of borderline pitches they get right. So I think as a group, the major league umpires are very good. Like I said, college guys, I don't know, like I said, they're trash those guys. They're good umpires. They're doing college level, but the big league guys are pretty good. But it's also, this is a multi-billion-dollar business. So you keep screwing some pitches, I'm gonna call you on it.
Yeah. As a manager, you have every right. And then it also brought me into, every time I see a situation like that, I'm like, why are we not using the challenge system? So don't believe me, okay? I don't have a vested interest in it. My career doesn't. I mean, hell, I don't even make any money at this. This is pretty much just a hobby that we all do.
You get to see me every Wednesday and Friday. What the heck, man?
That's payment enough right there.
Coach. No
doubt. So I just ask the people that actually make their living doing this, that have used the challenge system, the players and the managers. Just ask them, and they'll tell you they should have instituted the challenge system last year. I still don't understand why baseball sometimes has to be so antiquated that it's such a complicated deal to bring in something that works as well as the challenge system does.
You've been around the Oklahoma City ballpark more than I have, Case. I know they've been doing it on AAA level. What you hear from those guys? They like it, dislike it. The one time I sat there in the stadium down at Bricktown and watched the Oklahoma City Dodger game back in the day, but the challenge wasn't a big deal. I mean, it happened quick. It was precise. It was quick, and you probably know more about this. You probably studied this more, or you or Austin. Some guys that know what you're doing as far as analytics and the note taking and that type of stuff. Didn't seem like the umpires had a big problem with it. No. Like I said, they don't miss many pitches.
They get better if you get corrected by it in front of everybody.
I think
you're going to stop missing pitches, or you're going to be gone. One of the two.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't seem like I don't know. I didn't see ever a spring training game, but I know you've been around it more on the AAA level, talking to the managers and the players and stuff. It doesn't seem like it took anything away from the game. Now, the basketball deal the other night, you got a guy elbowing a guy in the head, and it took 20 minutes, seemed like, to figure out if it's a flagrant one or two. Come on now. I mean, even the announcer, Reggie Miller, goes, how many different angles you got to see of this? I mean, there was one angle, all you need to see. Make your decision and go on. It took too stinking long. That's all we did. Sometime in football, took too long. But the baseball deal is pretty cut and dried. I mean, they got it right there. They got it on computer. Boom, you got the strike or no, it's not a strike. And I like it. I mean, it's kind of grown on me. And, as a baseball purist, I know, I think you feel the same. I'm not going to speak for you, but I like it because it's quick, it's precise, and we can keep the game moving. So
I think it adds an element of excitement when they put it on the board.
Yeah.
And everybody, I mean, literally, you challenge, and it has to be the hitter, the catcher, or the pitcher. And it has to be immediately. I'm like, past 1 second, nope, you waited too long.
Yep,
so they have to tap their head. And then it goes up on the big board, and then everybody watches it on the big board. It comes in. It's either ball or strike. It reminds you of the old track zone of, we've had it forever in tennis. And literally it takes 14 to 15 seconds. And to me, it adds an element of excitement. So
you're an umpire. How many there's probably somebody's got this year. Austin's probably got it. The average number of pitches a home plate umpire will see in a major league game. How many is it? 3, 4. I mean, you got to be 300.
300 to 400.
Yeah, it's got to be 300 to 400. And we're talking about these guys maybe missing 3 or 4 pitches.
Yeah.
Maybe. Some guys.
The good ones, yeah.
They've had some guys didn't miss any.
Eric Gregg would miss more than that. But.
Oh, don't even get started on Hernandez. He's whatever.
Oh, Angel Hernandez.
We won't get started on that one. But I think that's they're good. They're freaking good. I don't think it bothers them to. I may have been. You've had umpires tell me and you both. I've had them tell me on basketball, hey Tony, I may have missed that. So I don't argue with them. Okay, hey, you're human. Let's move on. Let's go on. Let's keep playing.
Yeah, don't miss the next one.
Don't do it again. Yeah, come on, Terry Porter, don't do that to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Andy Pages, he got that first run generated with his double down the right field line, and then he got knocked in by Shohei Ohtani. Then he made the incredible play in right field. Been saying forever, hey, Andy Pages, I've been proud of him. He's done a good job learning center field. He's made himself an adequate to good center fielder. He's next level defensively in right field. That's what we'll say about him. We'll move on. And then Ha-Seong Kim. I think what Dodgers fans, beyond anything else, I went on Clint's show, Dodgers Territory, the other day, that the offensive thing, I think there's still some transitioning there.
Right.
Defense, plug and play. But bottom line with Ha-Seong Kim, when Dodgers fans watch him, it's like they can't take their eyes off of him. He's just electric to watch on the field.
He brings that energy. I mean, it's that youthful energy. There's just something about you look at Shohei, Sasaki, and Yamamoto, and these guys, just because they're foreign players, but they look like they're having the time of their life out there. I mean, they really do. Shohei always comes up, he nods the pitcher, the other manager, the umpire, the catcher. He's just having I would be too, making $700 million, but you also got to perform. You also got to hit on the upper deck every now and then, which he does quite often. But I'm just saying, he brings in the energy. There's a reason why the Dodgers went and did what they did. Yeah, he didn't start out on the big league level, like you said. He's got some things he's got to get. But bringing the energy that he brings, on the bases and that sort of thing, he's got some things he's got to work through. But isn't that a breath of fresh air to bring that guy in there? And he looks like he's good for the team. He's doing that. And Boy, wouldn't it be great? You just talk about Pajes, how much you could just see him evolving in front of us. Great, right? That's his position. We all know that's probably where he would belong because of the arm and that sort of thing. But I just sitting there, we're all pulling for James Outman to have that aha moment with a light to go off up there. And he really hadn't done it yet. We all love the guy. He's got a great body. By all accounts, he's a great kid.
Definitely can do it. Has the potential. Just isn't doing it.
Yes, I know. And we're all pulling for him. So this go around here looks like with some injuries, he's going to get a few more opportunities. So, you pray. Not because he's a Dodger fan, but the kid, we know he wants to be a big leaguer. He's got an opportunity. He's close to being a big leaguer. You just wish like it's done with Paez. I'm sure he'll level off a little bit too, but that aha moment where the light switch goes off and things start slowing down for him. We hadn't seen that yet, but hope we do.
Yeah, because he definitely has the defense, and with even like if you get whatever you want to do, whoever you want to put in center field, I think you're a better defender. I just think you're a better team in that situation. So, hey, wanted to get to the stolen bases, man. This is a problem to me. I mean, and Will Smith, Coach, he was popping 1-5 and 1-6 last night and still not throwing runners out. I mean, the Dodgers pitchers are like 1-7, 1-6. I mean, it's one thing, 1-3 is what you're trying to be as far as the pitcher from the time you start your delivery home to the time it hits the catcher's glove. You're shooting for 1-3. I mean, our Dodgers pitchers are like 1-7.
Yeah.
I mean, this is I get it that the philosophy is if I get my leg kick and I get the guy at the plate, it doesn't matter what the runners on the bases do. So I'd rather my pitcher focus on the hitter, because if you reduce your stuff coming to home plate, the hitter's likely to get a hit, and now you're going to have like a 3 or 4 run inning. I get the Red Sox started that like in the early 2000s. I get the analytics behind it, but there has to be a happy medium. I mean, it can't. So, okay, I can deal with 1-5. Will Smith can throw out base runners at 1-5.
Yep.
I can't deal with the pitchers are too bad to home plate. 1-7, they've got to fix something there, I think.
Yeah, what Will's popping. When your catcher's popping those type of times, one or two things are happening at your pitcher, or you got Ricky Henderson over there running. I mean, you got unbelievable speed over there, which you got a little bit of both. There's a little bit of combination, but pitcher's too long to the plate. I'd go back to I just hated giving up 90 feet as a coach. As a little old high school Legion coach, I was a guy, there's times when the first or third situation we probably shouldn't have thrown through, didn't really need to throw through.
But you stolen out.
I'm just so pissed off. I don't want to give up 90 feet. I don't care. If it's 12-0, okay, I don't give a crap. Go ahead and steal second, whatever. But I mean, the game still, if it's a game, it's a game. And I just hated the thought of just giving up 90 feet, not making them throw it all. There's a time and a place you have to, especially in the high school level. We all, fake, look at third, blah, blah, blah. We all have those little tricks that everybody does. But I'm just saying, it's like anything else. We talk about moving runners. I mean, if we're moving runners, don't even have to swing a stick. That's going to be a problem. But again, I don't have the computers and the stacks of analytics in front of me that tells me otherwise. And I'm just a guy that coached off field. I had some spray charts on the other team, some stuff I can get from somebody else, a scouting report. I had an idea, but that was my analytics. Call the old boy Tulsa Union. Sure. Hey, yes, so spray charts, blah blah blah. There's our analytics, but most of it is by field case, as you did yourself. So that's where I'm coming from on that.
You still have to have a feel for what the analytics actually means for each player on your team. There's still a feel aspect to it, even if you use.
Is it like fouling a guy 90 feet from the hole in a basketball game? And immediately fouling a guy 90 feet from the hole when you're up? Go ahead anyway. I don't want to go there either. I'm a little salty.
You're still drinking the Captain Red Ass over the Oklahoma City game.
They got a game tonight. Maybe I'll get off of it, but they still got a little Captain Red Ass over
that. You're a baseball coach. You need a game the next day.
Yeah, but they're
going to sit around and bitch and moan until the next game.
No, I'm pissed. Till they play, they better win tonight because I was pissed the other night. But Coach Barrakoff he knows way more about this than I do. But their analytics foul quick. Which up 3 you fouled. I get that in the front court, but I'm not going to get into that. Everybody's beat that.
In the front court, not 90 feet from the bucket. That's wasted seconds.
The analytics are correct, but don't do it there. That's what I think. And the coach even admitted to it. He's a great coach, and he admitted, hey, that's on me. So we'll move on. I won't until they win again, but I have a tough time moving on, but he will.
Another part of last night that I kept thinking about you with was when Will Smith did that ball to right center. I'm thinking, here's Will Smith popping 1-5, 1-6, 1-7. elite pop times at second base.
Yep.
Then he nails the ball to the opposite field gap for a double. And I'm thinking that's the Coach Holt hit right there. That's the one that the opposite field gap hit right there is when you really know the hitter's timing is perfect and when they're staying on it. So I really like that. Just Will Smith, if he's not I don't think any other catchers can do what he did. I mean, maybe JT Realmuto, but the fact that he hits an opposite field double, he's popping 1-5, 1-6, 1-7. If you paid attention, Will Smith put on a show last night.
Yeah, and he's just getting better. It seems like he gets better every year, Case. The only time we see some downtime from him is normal stuff. Catcher in the dog days of summer where he's getting wore down. But, it seems like every year we see Will Smith getting better, improving. Like I said, JT Realmuto, we love the Carl Albert, Midwest City Carl Albert kid, from he comes from great stock. We know that whole deal. He may be that type of guy right there. I know there's a lot of talented catchers, but you seem like Will gets better every year in every aspect of the game. Yeah, I think I'm not sure you feel the same way. When hitters are really locked in, they're drilling that opposite field gap. I mean, you can just tell this guy's locked in. If they throw him something inside 30, he's going to kill it. He's going to pull it. He's going to pull what he needs to pull, but if it's over the plate, he's going to kill it. And it's great to see Will swinging a bat like that. He's been consistent all year. Yes. That's why I hate the idea of losing Tio and Edmund. They've been, they've both been really good this year. You can't do anything about injuries. I know I learned, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Tom Landry said this years ago, I worry about things I can control. You can't control the weather. You really can't control injuries. I mean, it wasn't anybody's fault, these things that are happening. You have no control of that. You got to move forward, next man up. We got all the idea. And the Dodgers are totally locked in on that. But as a fan, look at it, damn. Tio and Edmund have been great this year, So that's a big hole you got to fill. You got a great team. Somebody has to pick up the slack. Top of your orders, Freddie's heating up, 11-game hitting streak. I mean, your dudes are going to heat up a little bit, but we still got to have somebody else. As we know, I'm not going to mention names. Somebody else is going to have to pick up some slack with those two guys out for a few days.
Totally agree. And then Luis Garcia, not going to lie, it's frustrating because if you watch the last home run Tony Gonsolin gave up, if you just don't even have analytics, put all your analytics, just watch the game. The Marlins were swinging at the first pitch all night long. So Luis Garcia comes in, guess what he throws? First pitch of the inning. First pitch fastball at the top of the zone, and it gets nailed. And I'm like, I get it that's like one of your favorite pitches to throw, but have you literally not been watching this game? I mean, that's the one way that the Marlins can win this game is if you just come in and throw them a first pitch fastball, and then they nail it, and then he hangs a slider to Dane Myers. And here's where I don't ever get frustrated or upset with players because of a physical mistake. When they're trying, it's just too hard of a game. You've seen me screw up more than anybody, Coach. So it's just too hard of a game. There's too much. That's when they need support. But when a guy doesn't pay attention and he comes into the game and throws a first pitch fastball that goes a long ways to you not winning the game, and that's just the mental aspect of it, that frustrates me. Am I being too hard? And then he hung the slider to Dane Myers. That's execution, whatever, but he wouldn't have been in that position if he hadn't thrown the first pitch fastball to start the inning.
Yeah, hanging a slider happens. I mean, like you said, that's execution. Correct. We can go with that. On the other hand, did Will call that pitch? Did somebody from the dugout call that pitch? I mean, I don't know. On the first pitch fastball is what I'm saying. And maybe they had an idea of trying to sneak one by a guy. But like you said, Case, the proof was in the pudding the entire game. You don't need to throw a first pitch fastball. And like we mentioned earlier, the ones that used to really get, going all the way, think about Greg Maddux. You never knew what the heck he's going to throw. And if he did, it was going to move one way or the other. And you never knew what the heck he was going to do. That's why he was so good, elite. The guys that pitch you backwards, as we say, and, the pitching backwards stuff, that gets you. If you know a first pitch fastball, again, here we go again. Best pitch in baseball to my pitchers.
Yeah.
Strike one. Hey, hitters, you better. That may be the only fastball you see the entire at bat. Get after it if it's there on first pitch. There's several different ways of looking at it. Not everybody has those two flights. I think everybody has a first pitch pitcher, but on the hitting, not everybody likes to take pitch. Whatever. that's great unless you're down 0-1. Then when 0-1's not a good count for a hitter. 0-2's definitely.
And you've already gotten down 0-1 and not hitting your fastball. And that's not coming back again. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's the part where the old in me comes out.
Right.
Come on, man. That's a fastball center cut. Get after it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until you get 2 strikes, try to knock the freaking wall down. Then we'll go to a 2-strike approach, which is unheard of in the big leagues. Well, some guys do it. But anyway.
Right. Yeah. So Shohei Ohtani ties it up. Shohei Ohtani obviously loves hitting in Miami. Shohei Ohtani is awesome. I thought it was an awesome moment. Ha-Seong Kim got picked off early. And here's why that just made no sense, was because if you steal second base and you're Ha-Seong Kim, then with first base open, even with a hot Andy Paez behind him, with first base open, they are not going to pitch to Shohei Ohtani. So even if you steal the base, what you've actually done is taken the bat out of Shohei Ohtani's hands. And so I thought it was brilliant the next time through. Dave waited till it was a 3-2 count to steal Ha-Seong Kim because he wanted Shohei Ohtani to have the full at bat. And then Shohei Ohtani does exactly what Shohei Ohtani does and comes through. So I thought that was a really good chess match there from Dave Roberts. Just one of those little situations that really go unnoticed that maybe we as fans don't pick up on all the time, of the decisions managers make that do work. And then the JP Fireeisen thing, I don't know who was available. I don't know who wasn't. That probably was a mapped out situation from people alongside Dave way before the game started. So I thought Dave did a good job with his decisions last night. I thought the Dodgers were going to win whenever they got the 5-2-3 double play. So it was a crazy game, Coach. Final thoughts.
Same thing. It is as a baseball purist, it's a great game to watch. Always hate it when the Dodgers lose, but we get it. It happens, and it's going to continue to happen. Nobody wins them all, but no, it was a good game. That 5-2-3 double play was great. Started by Muncy, and you feel good about everything. Of course, anytime you go in extra innings and you start out no outs, guy on second. Of course, I'm saying, hey, buddy him over, and whatever. Yeah. But they're not going to do that crap. But they get based on nobody out. You pretty much know you're done there. But it was just a great game. That's a big thing right there. Don't steal when he's up. Here's the other part for the Marlins. I know McCullough's got all this information. Freddie's hit the most home runs anybody ever in Marlins Park against the Marlins, and I think Mookie's batting average is about 400 against them too. So you don't really have,
And you had Mookie lurking. Yeah.
If you're going to sit there, you're probably going to pick Paez to pitch to, because Shohei is the $700 million man worth every dime, but. Then you got.
I don't care how hot Paez is. You're picking him over those.
You got to pick him, because Freddie's already killed. He's getting hit most home runs than anybody in Major League Baseball against you, and Mookie's been killing you. So I'm gonna pick Paez too, and Andy has come through more than he has in here. So it was a good ball game. Dodgers lost, and we'll try to get back on a winning track today.
Yeah, afternoon game, early game to get away, then head to Arizona. So, Coach, great to see your face. As always, you Dodgers dogs, I always say it, you're at the absolute best. Don't go away. Hey, next up, we have a great Down the Farm. We're going to talk about a bunch of the young pitchers at Rancho. We're going to talk about Kendall George and his electric night last night. We're going to talk about Josue DePaula, and we're going to talk about Dalton Rushing. That's all coming up on the other side of the break here, so don't go away. We're getting ready to take a trip down on the farm. So, Coach, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so, hey, let's not waste more time. Let's get right to it. Let's take a trip down the farm. Welcome to Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. So glad that you decided to tune in to check out some farm action for the Dodgers. And as we always do, we're going to start in Single A, Rancho Cucamonga. This is Mike Sirota, who should be at an advanced level from Single A, because he is absolutely just overpowering pitchers at that level. He had 4 hits again on Sunday, but here's the problem. So if you send him up to Great Lakes right now, you already have Kendall George, Zaire Hope, and Josue DePaula at Great Lakes. The last thing you want is to add another guy who needs every day at bat. So you can't have Mike Sirota, Kendall George, Josue DePaula, and Zaire Hope all in the same outfield. That's 4 outfielders. Somebody's not going to get playing time in everyday at bats, as far as somebody's going to be left out every single day. So what really needs to happen, I've said this a couple of times, Jose Ramos, who is absolutely killing it at the AA level, he needs to get moved up to AAA, excuse me. Jose Ramos has been in AA for a long time. And so if he does that, then you can move up maybe a Josue DePaula or a Zaire Hope up to Double-A. That opens up the everyday at-bats for Mike Sirota at the high A Great Lakes level, or maybe just jump Mike Sirota to Double-A. Who knows? I mean, that way you could keep Kendall George, Zaire Hope, and Josue DePaula all in the same lineup together, something the Dodgers have shown that they've enjoyed watching in terms of those three growing together, because I think Mike Sirota is advanced enough, old enough, maybe he could be the one that could jump straight to Double-A. So Mike Sirota absolutely killing it. He had 4 hits again on Sunday and is just really just kind of overpowering pitchers. He's hitting 360, something like that. I don't know the exact batting average right now. Just know right now that Mike Sirota is way advanced from the level he's at. But the logjam issues of things make it to where the Dodgers are trying to figure out a way to keep a situation to where everybody is getting everyday at-bats. And then Kellen Lindsey, the Dodgers' #1 draft pick from last summer. Of course, the wind was blowing out, and this had a jet stream behind it. But still, the thing to note here, Kellen Lindsey, he hits the ball the other way a lot. And yes, he has developed a game around his speed. We've talked about that before. But he is also a guy that occasionally will hit the bottom of the ball, occasionally because he hits the bottom of the ball, and he tends to swing down. If you look at the swing here, he's swinging down through that ball for the most part. Because of that, occasionally he's going to clip the bottom of the ball. He's going to create backspin, and he is strong enough to hit the ball out of the yard when he does that. So Kellen Lindsey's hitting 267. His OPS is 391, and that's something you want to see. That on-base percentage of 391 is definitely something you want to see from a guy like Kellen Lindsey, who has 80 grade speed. Lindsey also has 8 stolen bases, and then he has 20 runs scored in 22 games, just to kind of go to show that he has developed a good game around his speed. And so Kellen Lindsey, I wanted to show you him and the good job that he is doing with Rancho Cucamonga in his first season in affiliated baseball after being drafted last summer out of high school as the Dodgers' #1 pick. So, hey, welcome back, Jacob Wright. This young man is very good. The Dodgers drafted him last summer out of Cal Poly. So it's really good to see him back. He got here and he's dealt with a couple of little injuries, but Sunday he went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. So Jacob is 21 years old again. He was a 4th-round draft pick last summer out of Cal Poly. 2-seam, 4-seam, slider, slurve, and change. So a really, really complete mix, and he has that good riding. A 4-seam at the top of the zone. He can tail a 2-seam. That's a really nice, tight little slider/cutter pitch. And then he can add depth to that, and then he can turn the ball less. So you see that really, really tight right turn. He also has got that nice, tight right turn there. He also has good left turns with the change-ups and the 2-seam, and then he can straighten it out like you saw there. There's the 2-seam with the tail. So you saw the straight fastball there to the inside corner to the right-hander. You just saw the Taylor. There's the 4-seam up in the zone. You've seen a couple of tight right-turning sliders, and you saw the left-turning 2-seam of Jacob Wright. So there's another 2-seam that has a little bit of left turn to it, tail to it. So there is the good mix of Jacob Wright. Again, there's another 2-seam at the top of the zone that has another left turn there. So there it is. A good outing for Jacob Wright. Welcome back, and we're going to have a good time watching him all summer long. Again, just to say it one more time, a 4th-round draft pick last summer out of Cal Poly, and did a good job. I have not really seen a whole lot of him, so it was fun seeing just kind of the tight movements of his pitches. And then this is Aiden Feller. Congratulations, Aiden Feller. It's always fun watching these young men pitch that get, last summer was Evan Shaw, that get their first professional win. We saw Roki Sasaki get his first major league win. Well, Aiden Feller got his first professional win the other day as the piggyback starter. He came in behind Jacob Wright and actually threw the bulk innings. He threw 3 innings. He gave up no hits, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And so the Dodgers do this piggyback quite a bit. And the cool thing about this, see that crossfire, that's pretty good. I like that. I like it when they land in the third base dugout. He lands in the third base dugout, and then he just kind of comes across his body. That's why they call it a crossfire. And so it's really hard, especially for a right-hander, because it feels like he's stepping from behind your back and then throwing across the entire strike zone. Makes it very difficult. The Dodgers do this piggyback thing quite a bit, and they have it down so good that Aiden the other day actually timed his entire routine as if he was a starter, although he came in the third inning. So whatever your starting routine is, your band work, your running, whatever all that is, he did all of that and timed all that based off of being a starter. And so then he came in the third inning and did a really good job. Aiden Feller was drafted out of Southern Illinois last year in the 11th round. He has a 4-seam slider, cutter, velo 94 to 97. Last young man we're going to cover down at Single A, Rancho Cucamonga. This is one of my favorites. Cody Morse, a young man who went to Weatherford Junior College. He was actually going to head to Oklahoma University, OU, and he decided to go pro instead last summer. So I really like Cody Morse, and what I like is just kind of long levers. I mean, you can see here he's got long legs, he's got long arms, kind of a lot of ass and elbows coming to home plate, if you will, if you're a hitter. And then that tail right there, that left turn is really, really nice for Cody Morse. I mean, that is a pitch. That's about, 92, 94, but look at the movement on that pitch. Oh, my gosh, look at that. That would be such a tough at bat. Right there, I was thinking, don't feel that swinging, buddy. It was wet and kind of clammy at Rancho Cucamonga, and when I saw that, I was like, he's going to slip down. Don't tear up an ankle, but hey, he came through it, and he had a really nice outing, and he's settling in nicely. Cody Morse is. ERA doesn't look great. A lot of times it doesn't look great early in the season if you have like one bad outing, and that was Cody Morse. He gave up 4 runs in his first outing of the year, and that was only a 1-inning outing. So he's really tried to recover from a statistical perspective from that point on. But since then, Cody Morse, 3 runs, 8.1 innings, and he has 15 strikeouts in 9.1 innings. So he has a lot of swing and miss, especially with that tail. Then he can straighten it out, as you're seeing there with that 4-seam. So wanted to give you a good look at Cody Morse and the job that he is doing in the system, the job that he did last night, because I like the long levers. I like the potential that he brings for just kind of as a left-handed reliever that has really tough matchup qualities to him. So again, that's Cody Morse, a young man that was drafted by the Dodgers last summer. So hey, we're going to move up to High A Great Lakes, and this is Kendall George. Fun evening watching Kendall George. This is him right here. Just hit the ball where they ain't, hit the ball on the ground and run, make the defense have to make a play. So this was his first at bat, if you remember the other day. First pitch of the game, he bunted for a base hit. Second pitch of the game, Josue DePaula hit a home run. Well, how about this? The first at bat last night, he gets on with that hit. You see back to the pitcher, steals a base, and then about 2 pitches later, Josue DePaula hit him in again. So this is Kendall George a couple of at-bats later, and the electricity to this, you saw him get this base hit the first at-bat and then steal second base to get to second, get himself into scoring position. Well, then his second at-bat, the left fielder bobbles the ball just a touch. You see right there, he steals a base, and we're getting ready to see his hit to left field again. Left fielder bobbles the ball, just a touch, a little bit more than just a touch. And Kendall George has himself on second base. Watch this. He bobbles it, but the average person, I think, right there probably struggles to get to second base. Kendall George is in easily. I love that game. Super, super electric. He does just things on the field. Hey, we've seen Ha-Seong Kim at the major league level, and one thing that I think I've heard the most about Dodgers fans about him is just that he's super fun to watch. He's electric. It's just you can't take your eyes off of him, that kind of thing. That's the type of game that Kendall George has. I love that type of game. Could you imagine Kendall George and Ha-Seong Kim in the same lineup? And there is the base hit from Josue DePaula. After you saw the Kendall George base hit off the pitcher, then he stole second. That's the base hit to score him in the first run. And this is what Josue DePaula does over and over and over. He just dumped one into left field on a 6-hopper. He's okay with that because it's a base hit. That right there, just kind of a 6-hopper to score Kendall George and to get him in. Josue DePaula is good with that. And then the next at bat, he plays around the world and takes it into right field. Hits the ball to all fields. He's hitting .281, OPS .899. I can tell you this, that Josue DePaula is doing things for High Great Lakes I've never seen. And what do I mean by that? His numbers, his walk percentage, his base on ball percentage is 19.3%. That's incredible to begin with. That is 6 points higher than his strike percentage. Actually, it's more than 6 points higher than his strike percentage. So Josue DePaula has a base on ball percentage that is more than 6 points higher than his strikeout percentage. Then also his ISO, which is a power index, it's also more than 6 points higher than his strikeout percentage. So his relationship from power and speed, the trade-off there, or power and swing and miss, is more than a 6 point positive margin. And then his walk to strikeout is also more than a 6 point positive margin. I've seen positive margins on both of those before. Never more than never even close to anything of 6 points like we're seeing with Josue DePaula. So he's doing things from a statistical perspective, from a bat to ball perspective, from a walk to strikeout perspective, and from a walk to power, or a strikeout to power perspective, I've never seen. And I've watched a lot of baseball in my day. Hey, this is Roque Gutierrez. This guy has, of course, he's like a lot of these young power pitchers. I mean, he was hitting 97, 98. Got to keep the ball in the strike zone. Too many walks on the season. But even with that, at the lower levels, he's able to get at least to this point, he's been able to get through it because his stuff has some pretty good electricity. And last night, he really, I mean, this is a guy that can really max out in one inning. But last night, he went 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, and a walk. And Gutierrez got the win, and his ERA is down to 2.16. Gutierrez has 28 strikeouts and 20.1 innings. He also has 10 walks, so he's averaging a walk about every other inning, which that's not good. But whenever you have 28 strikeouts and 20.1 innings, and then also, once you're in the strike zone, the command's actually not good. It's just the control itself, getting it in the zone to begin with. He's been very explosive. So what you're seeing here from a mix from Roque Gutierrez, that's a nice slider there. Fastball, cutter, splitter, and slider. Velo last night actually was, boy, that's a big pitch. Velo last night was touching 97, 98, but he's going to sit 94 to 96, something like that. So wanted to show you a good look at Roque Gutierrez and the great job he's doing. Again, still trying to master the control aspect of things. 10 walks in 20 innings is a little bit more than what you'd like to see, but again, that's the process of trying to grow in the minor leagues, and he is definitely doing that. So the AA Tulsa Drillers, they had their game postponed. It's been a rainy period here in this part of the world. Tulsa was not at home last night, but this whole region has just gotten rain for the last, I'd say, 3 weeks. We've had flooding and everything else, so Tulsa got postponed. Dalton Rushing, we're going to skip straight to AAA Oklahoma City. Dalton Rushing had 2 hits last night for Oklahoma City. He's hitting now .311, OPS of .912, and he played first base last night. I know people went nuts over the weekend. He played left field because they were wondering what the left field situation would look like. We saw James Outman go up and strike out 3 times last night to put Andy Pajes in right field, of which, if you saw Andy Pajes last night, you saw why I've been saying for so long he needs to be in right field. That cannon from right field, the play that he made back to first base, I mean, they're just awesome. He is an awesome right fielder. But a lot of people were thinking, well, maybe you could put Dalton Rushing in left field. That puts maybe a Tommy Edman in center and that kind of deal, whatever. There's a lot of different scenarios. One of the scenarios is Ha-Seong Kim at second base, maybe Tommy Edman in center, and then that gets Andy Pajes to a corner, and then whatever you do with Michael Conforto, whatever. But that was kind of the swirl that happened last weekend when Dalton Rushing played some left field, because he does have a hit tool, and Dodgers fans are just trying to figure out, how do we get this left-handed offensive stick in the lineup, because it is legit. And if you watch him, he looks ready. Rushing has hits in 7 of his last 8 games. He has a walk percentage of 16%, so another guy that has a great eye at the plate, and a strikeout percentage of 24.5%, which that's a little bit high. He could get that down because he has good enough bat-to-ball skills to get that down around 19-20%, and a WRC plus of 142, but you don't want to worry so much about the strikeout rate that you end up, making the cure worse than the disease, if you will. Like, you're so worried about striking out that you actually lose all the good parts of somebody's offensive game. So Dalton Rushing, another good game last night. And this is another young man that I really like that is very much so under the radar. By the way, this is really cool. Baseball is awesome. So see this guy at home plate right here? This guy's name is Braxton Fulford. And in 2019, he was the catcher for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And then in 2021, both Braxton Fulford and Ryan Sublette were on the exact same Texas Tech lineup. So kind of a funny story. Braxton's 5'11", and when he came to Texas Tech, he was okay. And keep in mind, Texas Tech had awesome teams back then. I mean, they've gone down just a little bit since then, but I think they'll get back up with the NIL stuff. So I say that to say, I was like, well, maybe Texas Tech actually has a weakness in their lineup, because they had like Jace Young and Josh Young and all these just awesome players. Well, come to find out, Braxton Fulford ended up being one of their better players. And I was communicating with Ryan, this is Ryan here, Sublette, last night about it, and his comment was, yeah, man, I think Braxton is the player that improved the most while I was at Texas Tech. So the moral of that story, let me back that up one more time. Good buddies, good teammates at Texas Tech. Ryan Sublette struck out his old teammate and good buddy Braxton Fulford on the changeup. The changeup was really good last night. That two-seam fastball there was really nice as well for Ryan Sublette. The little tight little slider looked good. This is a guy, Ryan Sublette, again, another guy that has a hard time getting the ball in the strike zone. But once he gets it in the zone, typically speaking, he's very hard to hit. He's hard to barrel up because he throws a very heavy ball. He has a unique arm slot. So all in all, 1.2 innings pitched last night for Ryan Sublette. 2 hits, no runs, 1 strikeout, and a walk. And that was the 3rd scoreless outing in a row for Ryan Sublette. So, hey, that's going to do it for our Dodgers Daily Down the Farm. I want to thank you for tuning in. You Dodgers dogs, as always, are the absolute best crowd out there. Not the biggest, but definitely the best. So I'm Casey Porter. I want to thank you again for tuning in. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.